Hey, YouTube. Good evening. Happy, just today, still Tuesday. Happy Tuesday evening. Y'all here? Let me see. I don't think I'm recording yet. Yeah, I am. 15 seconds. Hey, Prima Wanda. Hi. Well, I stumbled across this story. Actually, someone called me and told me about it. But there's a bit of good news for residents of San Francisco, right? Now, a lot of you people know that San Francisco, I'm sure you've heard of, has got a huge problem with homelessness, right? They got all these people with all this money, all these rich people, and they got a whole lot of poor people, right? So what they figured out, the cities figured out that these poor people were a threat, particularly homeless people. But so they finally are forced to address the homeless problem because they need to get these people off the street, right? So what I stumbled across is there are 31 luxury hotels. These include the Palace Hotel, the Mark Hopkins. That's the one from it's one of the most famous hotels in San Francisco. These rooms usually go $500-$600 a night, right? The city is going to pay many of these hotels because they're all empty. Hey, people, the hotels are empty, right? So what they've come up with a plan is people who live in SROs. SRO means single room occupancy. People who live in those type of hotels, and there are lots of people who live, particularly in the Tenderloin. There are many, many SROs in Tenderloin, right? And around San Francisco. A lot of these rooms do not have, they have communal restrooms and communal kitchens, right? So they've identified that that's a threat because if Corona is in that hotel, everybody in the hotel is at a threat. So what they've come up with is these people who live in these SROs, which are small, their rooms, but without a kitchen. Some I have been in them. Some have kitchens and bathrooms, but the majority don't have a bathroom or kitchen in the room. There may be this size of room, but that's the whole thing, right? You got to use it in the hall. They are going to put these people up in these luxury hotels. It's great. Let me stop a minute and say hello to people. Hey, y'all. Moot point. We'll determine that later on, moot point. Hey, Nikki. Hey, people. Y'all inside and bored? I mean, we got to keep our spirits up, right? Anyway, so all kind of things going on all over the country, basically because these people cannot operate their businesses. A lot of these hotels are faced with closing down completely because they cannot fill these rooms up because obviously there's no tourists right now, right? So their hotels are sitting there 80% empty. So they've worked out a deal with the city. The city's going to put all these people in these SROs, these single room occupancies, primarily in the Tenderloin. They're going to put them in these hotel rooms, right? And they can stay there for up to 4 months. Now imagine if you're used to doing without living in limited conditions, and all of a sudden now you can live in these 5-star hotels for 4 months. And you ain't pay no more than you paid at your other place, I assume. And you get 3 meals a day. Well, it's marvelous. I used to live in SRO. Did I ever live in one? No, I used to live in hotels, though. A lot of those hotels, they've converted now to SRO units. Housing is a huge issue here in San Francisco. So those are people who already have a place, though. They have a SRO. When the SRO, if people test positive there, they're clearing the whole building out and putting in these luxury hotel rooms, right? So there's 31 hotels vying. They are petitioning the city because they want those people. Imagine that. They want these guys because their hotels are empty. These will be quarantine rooms. I know you all got stories about what's going on in your towns as well, but this one just kind of caught my interest and caught my friend's interest. Okay, so they're going to have 3 meals a day. Okay, so they have a combined room. These 31 hotels have a combined number of rooms, 8,310 rooms, right? The city has approved 6,000 of them, 6,500 of them for this program, right? Now they're trying to figure out what to do with the people who are actually living on the street because when people are living on the street, nobody is safe because they're all, you know, they're not in sanitary conditions, let's say. So when you go to the supermarket and you touch something there, it's all over the supermarket because the people, not everybody is, particularly in my neighborhood, I live next to Safeway. Everybody can be infected because these people don't have proper facilities. So they got another plan to put them all in. It seems like they would be better off in these SRO rooms, but they've determined that they're going to put them all in big warehouses or something like that, and just try to manage them that way. But it could be a huge problem. Anyway, I think that's great. You can live yourself in a $400 or $500 mark, what's called it, Palace hotel room. These places are huge with columns and chandeliers. They're the fanciest hotels you can possibly find. You can stay there for 4 months. I think it's pretty great. And I'm hoping and I'm praying that the people they will come up with a solution for the people who are living on the street as well. Obviously, the hotels don't want just swarms of homeless people moving into the hotel. But I think the point is these are people who have been exposed to the coronavirus, right? So I believe that after they get in the hotel, they're not actually moving around in the hotel because the whole point is to quarantine them, right? So these are quarantine rooms. They're just living in their room and they're delivered their food to them. They got the bathroom, they got the TV, they got it going on. I think it sounds like a great plan. The city's able to do this. The city's going to pay them $213 per night, per room. But the hotels, that's better than zero per night, per room, right? I'm sure they still have huge mortgages. Hey, people. Yeah, that's a good, humane way to handle people. Okay. Hi, people. Hi, Almond Brown. All right. So there's just one effect here. We need to figure out a way to house people here anyway. So maybe something will come out of this thing. If they can figure it out on this temporary basis, perhaps they can figure out how to handle homeless problems here, period. A lot of it is because of drug addiction, but it's so hard to go from the streets to an apartment in this town. Extremely hard to go from paying $0 to paying $3,000. You can't just go get a job at Burger King and make the rent. So it's always been a dilemma here. Not everybody on the street is a drug addict either. Okay. My clients are in self-quarantine. Okay, it's great until. Yeah, this is serious business here, man. I paid $400 for the Grand Hyatt in Union Square. I'm glad the city and hotel. Right. $450, honey. That's what those rooms. And that Palace Hotel. Y'all remember a series way back in the 70s? What was it called? I think it starred Betty Davis. It was called Hotel. That's where this place was, the Mark Hopkins. I mean, grand hotel. But you wouldn't think the people would be willing to do that. But they need the people. They need the help as well. They need to put somebody in those rooms. Not many people are traveling right now to be sightseeing. You're overwhelming. Yeah, New York City's all over the news now. I can imagine in New York City. You guys probably had similar problem that we have here. But everybody's got to be healthy, right? If they're going to stop it. Como seems, I wouldn't be surprised if Como's going to run for some office because he is really on top of his city. I guess he has to be with all those people. I mean, it's a lot of people to manage. Mm-hmm. Where are you going, Screeny? I see. It looks like a little raccoon going down there. I thought he was a coon. All right, people. Y'all see the situation with on Maddie's show today with Larry Reed? I made a little video about it. About that situation. Anybody see that? I'm sure you did. She got a big audience. Oh my goodness. XD line. Wait a minute. The state already gave ultimated to people, stay your ass at home or go to jail. Ooh. But what if you don't have a home? What if you really, I don't know what city you're in, but in these big cities, a lot of people don't have a home, honey. So where are they going to go? You move people out of these camps and you move them a few feet. I mean, where are they going to go? So I think that hotel thing is great. It would be great if they could use those rooms that are empty now because they moved them to quarantine. But then if it gets loose in the hotel, it's the same situation again. So it is a dilemma. In my country, Uncle Tim. Okay, so you're in the country? You guys don't have the same issues that we have here. My family's always amazed when they come here and they see people climbing up telephone poles and shit, hollering, screaming in the streets. But the residents here, we don't even look back anymore. There's always people hollering and screaming, you know. That's always been part of the character of San Francisco. But it's getting worse and worse and worse. As the place gets more and more expensive, it gets harder and harder to move from one thing to the other. Right? Oh, the guests were rude and ignorant. They were. That is so shameful. They need to apologize. I think she suggested on there the summer because her chat wasn't all that impressed with that encounter either. And they said they should apologize, those two guys, and they said no. Yeah, some kinks got to be worked out of this when all this interfacing things, split channels, stuff like that, you know, when anybody can come in. Anyway. Molestation is no joke. You guys, if you want to watch something interesting, there's a movie on YouTube called The Kinsey 6. Is it Kinsey 6? Or Kinsey something. This is this guy who did a study on human sexuality. He did it on a spectrum. A perfect, as I recall, I haven't seen it in a couple of years, but as I recall, a perfect gay is a perfect 6, Kinsey 6. But then between a 1 and a 6, people would default in many categories. They're not just all just gay or straight. Some are just gay or straight. I'm just gay, but there's a big range in there. Where some people wouldn't even consider themselves bisexual, but yet they're still on that scale. And they would do experiments and they would show people dirty pictures and so forth and see keep them in a closed place and see what aroused them. And then there are many people who claim to be totally straight, but they will be aroused by these pictures of these naked men. So he had all kind of situations like that and found out that he was actually bisexual himself. Fascinating. Kinsey 6, check it out. It's on YouTube. Prime Minister is trying to convince the other parties to accommodate people in empty hotels because hospitals are full. Right. Well, that's what's going on here. Of course, they have a right to be apprehensive. Well, I guess not if the place is empty. But you know, a lot of stuff that goes along with drug addiction, and the people are not going to stop being a drug addict to come in your hotel and stay in your room, right? You're bringing up all kind of complications. But I believe the idea is that you don't come out of the room. You're just there until this quarantine is up. So real drug addicts are not going to be interested in that. They'd rather be out on the street free because they got to get high. But how you going to get high if everything closed up? So it's a dilemma. San Francisco has struggled with this, I don't know, 50 years. Definitely since I've known about it 30 years ago. They were rude and judgmental to Larry. They certainly were. I didn't appreciate that at all. I mean, basically, they wouldn't even let the man talk. You know, what'd you say? Oh, you what? Oh, and then get so rude to say what you want to say, and then get up and walk away from the camera, or the other person sitting there stuck, trying to have a conversation. You get up and walk away and come back just to laugh at him. It was such poor taste. If that were my show, I'd just take it down. That's just my opinion. But that's Maddie's thing. I'm not trying to make it hard on her or judge her or anything. It's just a situation that got out of hand, in my opinion. But anytime you expecting other people to understand you, you have to start with mutual respect. You got to be willing to listen to them as well. Mm-hmm. Laguna Honda Hospital employees tested positive. Yeah, they said in that program they also going to have people who work in healthcare who live. They have to commute to keep them in town. They're going to also put them up in these hotels. But from my understanding, you have to be exposed to this virus. So I guess if they find it in an SRO hotel, then they'll just quarantine the whole place. But they got to quarantine you somewhere where you have a restroom and food and all that kind of stuff. So they're going to get food delivered every day, 3 meals a day for 4 months. That ain't bad. You know, how much would that be? You're paying $500 a night for 4 months. A nice little experience, especially if you're not sick. If you're sick, it's not going to make any difference to you, probably. Chicago says hello. Can you tell us more about your times with Tony Jermaine? Who is Tony? Was Jermaine's real name Tony? Or you lived in LA? Well, I have a video about my whole experience with Jermaine. He's one of the first people I met when I got to Hollywood. Yeah, so we lived together for, I think, about a summer. There was no idea that he would be a singer at that point. He was just a Soul Train dancer. And then he was doing so well that when that AIDS thing hit, it's just so tragic, you know. This guy had made something out of nothing. He went to London and he got himself a hit record in London and came back to here a celebrity. I mean, he had a following as far as being a dancer. When he came up, and I think he had like 3 or 4 hits. And recently, people started releasing his videos, unseen videos here on YouTube. So if you put Jermaine Stewart in the title, I mean, in the heading, you will see that he has tons of video interviews. Yeah, I didn't know him after he became a popular singer. I bumped into him in a bar one night, and he just taken off. You know, at the same time he was taking off to be a popular singer, I was taking off to be an unpopular drug addict. So if just put Timothy Blaine and Jermaine Stewart, you'll pull that story up and you can see what happened. I don't want to repeat the same thing over and over again, but he was a really sweet guy, though. I'll tell you that. So you guys from Chicago knew Jermaine? Always a popular dude. It was inevitable something was going to happen for him. But neither him or I thought it was going to be anything in music because he didn't think he could sing. But now he might have just been shy about that. Right? I remember one time, you know how sometimes when you're you're young and you're lip singing, you're in the spirit, you get the music up loud and you're singing, and you're just giving your show or whatever. At one time, it was a studio apartment we lived in, right? I was really into it, right? Was I singing Al Green or somebody? I used to like Al Green a lot, but I was singing and into the mirror, you know. And I looked up and he was standing right there. Now, there's never been any question that I definitely cannot sing. So I'm sure it must have looked pretty ridiculous. But at that time, I asked him, you know, because he knew a lot of people. He knew everybody, a lot of people in show business, black show business. But I figured maybe he'd get something like The Wiz or something like that as a dancer. But he came out. In fact, that was the song. No, that was Donna Ross's song. Lord have mercy. The Word that was his song. That you and I, you and I been getting it on. You know the word is out. Something like that. Then you have another one about drinking cherry wine and drinking cherry wine. Sweet spirit. Very sweet spirit. Yes, he did vocals for Jeffrey. Those were best friends. When I arrived in Hollywood in 76, 7, Jermaine, Jeffrey Daniels, Shalimar, Jody Watley, and all the Soul Train. They were all good friends, but he was particularly friends with Jeffrey Daniels and Shalimar. So he was singing with them after we only lived together for about a summer, right? Then I went on about my life, and he went on about his. And then he ended up leaving to go to London. But apparently he was singing background for Shalimar. There was another group he was singing background for too. I don't remember which one it was. Yeah, so they were popular. He had another friend, Bobby DeBarge. So they both had big billboards on Sunset Boulevard. That's like the ultimate in Hollywood, you know. Yeah, but I didn't know that he was singing background. So he started off singing background those guys. Also for Jody Watley. After she split from them. He was friends with Bobby. He was good friends with Bobby DeBarge, but I don't think he ever sang with them. I mean, they had their own backup, you know. Back. Now, how you gonna come up? We talking about Trump. Prima Wanda is getting serious. Miss Motown and Tropical Punch Kool-Aid. Who is Tropical Punch Kool-Aid? Let me take a guess. That fool president said he wants everyone back to normal, back to normal, and back in church for Easter Sunday. Now, what a dumbass thing to say. How in the hell is he gonna predict the date that we can all go back to church? So he wants on this date that he predicted, everybody just rush back into the church. Some of these mega churches, 2,000 people. They go from quarantine to 2,000 people congregating. All Donald Trump, listen, Trump, the economy is shot out. It'll be shot out till after your election is over. So forget you're going to do some damn Superman move and then everything's going to be back to normal. And you can go bragging about Barack Obama's economy, which you did nothing but try to destroy, even down to that essential department that we needed. He had gutted it. Easter Sunday. How the hell is he going to be? That's just so stupid. And it's just so dumb. All these doctors saying they don't know. All these scientists say they don't know. Everybody don't know. All the government officials don't know. But Donald Trump, he's the one. Like he said when he was running, I'm the only one that can fix it. You're going to fix it on Easter Sunday, huh? I'm amazed that they allow him to talk. I guess he just dominates everything. Let me open this window. I'm burning up. Move, baby. Move your bum. I got to open a window. Whew, that's much better. Yep, it's raining here in San Francisco today. Rainy and gloomy. I guess that would help wash the city down, though. I hate French fries. I'm sorry about the fries. Let me see. Okay, he's forever taking credit for other people's work, and he's also forever blaming people when things don't go right. That's why he came out here with this Chinese virus shit. Worldwide. He wants to identify, they were the first one. What if we were the first one? Would it be American virus? He's an idiot. He doesn't look bright, does he? Never all that orange stuff all over his face. Crazy ass hairdo. And he's a big, bulky man. So he's almost like they just walk away, go say something. And he walks off. And then people who know what the hell they're talking about, they have to come and tell us the truth, which is oftentimes they're trying to be respectful, but their opinion is totally opposite of his. So they got to try to work out a way to say it without saying it because they're standing next to him. They are using positive vibrations to beat the corona. All right. Good luck. Am I on quarantine? This whole town is what they call it, a shelter in place. So nobody's supposed to be, it's suggested. It's not, they're not enforcing. But I'm always home anyway. I'm a homebody. So we're not in quarantine. I haven't been exposed to that virus. So, nope, not sick. But they want everybody to stay home. And it seems to be working. That train just passed. I was going to show you how empty the train is again today. Empty. You can imagine what kind of a time that even Muni is having. Is Muni owned by the city? I don't know. All them trains are usually packed with people. I mean, just like this, particularly rush hours, going to work and coming back. Nobody on them. So whatever it takes to run those trains, whatever employees they have to employ to keep them going, they're not getting any revenue. Oh, you and Miss Motown saw something I didn't see. Why are you tearing up? Who was that? Who get some tears? I ain't getting no tears. Yeah, I did tear up about that movie I watched on the plane, though. Judy. You know how Hollywood will make that last scene where people come on the stage and they maybe kind of bombing a little bit. Then all of a sudden, the crowd would start helping them with the song, and it made me tear up. And I haven't done that for a movie in a long time. What about the homeless? That's the question, honey. What about the homeless has been the question in this town for many years. When I first got here, 93, they used to have all the homeless people all in front of City Hall. The whole park in front of City Hall was packed with people, homeless people, right? I guess it was some kind of political statement. But this town has struggled with that. Now it's about tents. And it's a curious thing. Those guys are they're not under sanitary conditions, and they're living in camps and they're huddled together and so forth. What chance do they have? A lot of them are young, so I hope that they could survive it. But they haven't got a solution. I think the latest thing was to put them in churches and things like that. But then you got to sanitize the whole church too. But the churches are not functioning either. They're empty as well. Schools are empty. All these places, I guess, after they leave, if you wait 15 days, I guess supposedly, then the virus will be dead. So I'm not sure what the plan was. A friend of mine just called me and told me about the situation with the hotels, though. They seem to be a little bit more friendly to the idea of just people coming from SROs. Those are people that are at least used to being inside. But when you say you're opening it up for the homeless, then you're talking about a lot of people with mental illness, a lot of crazy people, drug addicts and things like that. They seem to be less willing to open their rooms up to them. But something has got to be done. You know, what else I got to do with that? 30 hotels have closed here. They're getting no revenue. So it makes sense, you know. They'll probably have plenty of security there, you know, make sure people stay in their rooms. So the whole point is to stay in the room, not to be in the hotel. So no amenities, no swimming pool and all that kind of stuff. Steve Gibson, he is alone. Oh my goodness, Steve Gibson? Okay, Robbie is saying, Robbie on the rails is saying that Steve Gibson, that name sounds familiar for some reason, is alone and afraid he may have contracted the coronavirus. Oh my God. Yeah. Yeah. So Ronnie, they say 80% of the people who are exposed to it will survive it, but nobody wants to be sick and not knowing how it's going to, you know, if they're going to survive it or not. Hopefully there are services, people who would bring him food, though. I'm sure there are, or whatever town you live in. Why does that name sound so familiar? Is Steve Gibson, is he usually in the chats? Or where do we know him from, Ronnie? There's a new symptom. What's the symptom? So far, I haven't seen anybody coughing or anything, but I'm not seeing that many people. But on the streets and things, some people are wearing masks on the street, the few people who are out there, and some people are not wearing it outside. When I went to the store today, no line at all early in the morning, but I noticed a lot more people wear the mask inside the building than out in the air. He posted a video. You want to post a link here? Robbie, if you want to post a link here, maybe people can go over there and give them some support. Loss of smell and taste. Okay, I haven't experienced that. Loss of smell and taste. Okay. I got so much dental work, honey, I can't taste nothing anyway. I don't think. I think it's definitely affected when your whole palate is covered up. Okay, he was a Wale moderator for a while. He's a YouTuber in our sector. Okay. Well, if you know, he posted a video. You can post a link. You know how to do that? Copy and paste in the chat if you want to. I don't know where to get any masks though. I have about 3 here. 2 of those kind that you can use many times, and then just one those little paper things. But I would like to be able to get some of those. I have lots of gloves, so I wear gloves when I leave the house. I don't take them off till I come back into the house and dispose of them. So I think that helps a lot. I'm not touching anything. But I don't know where to get sanitizer. I have some here left still. Sanitizer and mask. I can't find. But like I said, I'm not going anywhere that requires me getting on any kind of public transportation. So I have to go by whatever is at this store or at the hardware store. Some of these predictions are so dire. They're saying that 50% of the people in America, it could end up with this virus. You know, some people look at the worst possible scenario, worst case scenario. Wouldn't it be horrible? A country like this rich, could be destroyed by this thing. We will become like Italy, beds and tents and all this kind of stuff. Scary. Somebody will make a movie someday. You're welcome, Robbie. What was his name? Okay. Wait a minute. What's Troy Allen doing now? Mr. Troy Allen did a video for making face masks. Oh, he did? He's a pretty smart guy. I'm going to go over there and check that out. Thank you, Burrell. Is it Burrell? Williams. Yeah, it ain't like I'm doing a whole lot else, right? Why can't I make my own mask? I just bought my life insurance. Nikki. Now I've been putting that off. I've got to do that too, because I can get life insurance pretty cheap. What's the thing called? I forget it. Colonial Penn or something like that. You can get insurance for $9. I just need enough money to put me in a hole. I don't want to burden my family. But to be cremated and all that. But I keep putting it off. I danced around death so long, thinking, oh, I'm dying. Oh, I'll be over it in a year. And then another year came. I don't know. I got insensitive. But it's a very real thing. We should be getting insurance. People in the 60s, surely people in the 50s and 60s should get some kind of insurance. My doctor friends down in San Jose are on the verge of being. Ooh. Okay. Valicor says, my doctor friends say hospitals down in San Jose are on the verge of being full with coronavirus patients. Okay. So these numbers are doubling and tripling every day. I feel guilty. I guess we should just stay in front of the television and take it all in as it comes. But it's just so much. It's so much. It's moving so fast. And then you got this fool up here talking about, oh, it's be over with by Easter. We're going to buy a nice Easter hat, go on to church with 3,000 people. I mean, he doesn't even make an attempt to sound intelligent. You would think that somebody on his staff would say, no, Mr. President, I don't think that's the right thing to say. I think it's giving people false hope. Somebody there, but maybe he dominates them so much that they're scared to say anything. I know that when he had that damn table, when he had all the senators sit around and all of them going around giving him compliments and all that, I said, oh my God, how can these grown men do that? How can they bow down and kiss his ass on national television like that? But they've all taken the pill, honey. But somebody should, you would think, go over what he's going to say before he says it. Trump might be suffering from dementia or something too. Maybe he's not really his full self. Bandanas for masks that will work. Okay. Use bandana. Oh, they're going to make me a gangbanger. So I got any, so a bandana, so that would be a scarf too, right? I might have some kind of scarf. I'm just staying in the house. It's the basic thing. What's your name? Larry Nelson and Tracy are related receipts. That's your name? Don't you come here to start no trouble. What's that face? Is that a mean face? Lord. I got my eye on you. Larry Nelson and Tracy are related. Hey, Justin Sanchez. You've been around a long time. I remember that name from when I first started you doing YouTube 3 years ago. You haven't seen the Surgeon General that much because Trump won't let him. Trump wants to come out here every day. You see, Trump can't campaign right now, right? Because they won't allow him to have more than 10 people together. So he has to close out all of his rallies and all that stuff has to be. So he's just trying to stay in front of us as much as he can, even though he just comes out and says some of the most ridiculous things. This is him running for office still. Until they say that we are postponing the election, he's going to get on the screen as much as possible. Right? So that's probably why he wants to make all these announcements himself, because he said that Mike Pence was in charge of this whole damn thing. He would place him in charge. All he is a little whisper behind him. It would come out and basically repeat whatever Trump says. But Trump has to be up front. Remember now, we are only months away from the election. So I guess he thinks that the American public is so stupid that we believe that we're going to be out of this thing by Easter. Everything's going to be over. Everything's going to be back humming by Easter. That's what he's running on. People are that stupid. So you guys let him get away with being stupid. And now you think he can get away with anything. Just say anything you want to tell him. Look at it. Where is that? Oh, I'm trying. Y'all can't see inside though. I want to show you. I want to show you these train. That train had 2 people on it. And usually there's something like 300 people on the train. It's a long, long, long train. I saw 3 people. Nobody going to work. You've seen Barr. Wait a minute. How is it we haven't seen the Surgeon General that much? We have seen Barr several times. Yeah, he's standing there by Trump, his committee. Boy, that dude don't he look constipated? That Barr, it looked like he has just sold his soul, honey. Look like Fred Flintstone. He ain't got nothing to say. All those people, none of them are going to cross Trump, whatever he says. So he won't let with so much talking go on, and he's going to prove everything they say. So they can't be going, even though they know that the opposite is true of what he says. They're his team. You guys can see how much Trump is out of his league. He ain't no leader. A real estate developer and a ripoff artist, con man. That's what he's been. It was an experiment and it failed horribly. Can we put anybody? Probably a lot of prejudiced people say, well, Barack Obama can do it. He's black. Anybody can do it. I'm just telling you. Well, I see a lot of these people's brains must be working. I believe Trump decided to run for president when Obama had insulted him at that thing they do where they go and insult people. That's what the whole thing is. It's a tradition. Trump wouldn't allow it because he couldn't take people going up there and insulting him. So this is the first time they haven't had it. You might know what that thing is called, where the president goes up there and insults everybody. I think he made his decision after he made fun of Donald Trump. He was sitting in the audience. Everybody was laughing at him. Next thing you know, he's running for president. Right. Yeah, most of that real estate he don't even own. Why else would he be hiding his income? He don't want us to know. But it's full of stuff. A lot of them people probably paid him a one-time fee for the name, the brand, which he built. So you can say he's good at building the brand. But he probably doesn't own anything. And that Jared Kushner, y'all see his the documentary they did on him? What's it called? I think it's called Dirty Money. You go to Dirty Money and they have several different episodes. One on Jared Kushner. And you see how crooked him and his family were. Okay. Okay, let me see. His pride was hurt. So he's going to give us all lashes because his pride was hurt. That's one thing. An insecure fool don't want nobody. They hate when you laugh at them. Above all things, they want to be taken seriously. I'm somebody, totally insecure. That's why he's hated Obama so much since then. You remember what he ran on, right? Obama was a big scheme. He's a plant. He's from somewhere else. He appealed to the racists in many of us. I say us because we're all people. He didn't miss a chance to put down another race. We're going to start seeing some more of that. He said, well, it worked before. I'll see if it work again. So he wants to be done with this Rona stuff so he can get back to being nasty. Correspondence. Oh, y'all so smart. Thank you, Nikki. It's the White House Correspondence Dinner. They have it every year. Y'all notice that since Trump in office, he won't have it, though. He don't want nobody making no cracks at him. Obama tore his ass up that year. About Jerry Bush. But Trump had already started with him, though. He had already started with this foreigner stuff before that. Judy Line, where are you? That's what I was wondering, because she just wrote something, or she or he, and it said something about a prime minister. So are you in Canada? I mean, where are the prime ministers? Sometimes, you guys, I'll pass over your comments because I don't know how to pronounce your names. It's embarrassing. I hate to always mispronounce people's names. Correspondence dinner. Dirty Money on Netflix. That's right. That's where you'll see the Kushner story. Fascinating story about that family and his relationship with Trump. You see, Trump, he almost made him the prime minister. The way he gave him all these responsibilities. No experience at all. Nothing. He just put him in there. then pretty much everybody else in there is they're just acting people. They don't even have real jobs. Yep, he was very threatened by Obama, particularly pulling out of this financial crisis we were in. Remember, things were close to this bad back then when Obama got in office, and somehow or other he turned it around. Do you get any respect for that? No. Trump goes in there and takes responsibility for the whole thing. It's never been so great till I got here. They all know I'm coming. Now you got a feeling that this whole corona thing will be over by Easter. When is Easter? You know, I was born on Easter Sunday. I was born on Easter Sunday, 1958. But the date, it doesn't fall on the same date every year. So only a couple times has it ever come back to my birthday. But they say my mama was in church praising God when her belly jumped. So goes the legend. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Donald Trump needs to listen to the doctors. They're going all week testing Trump and his family and testing Pence and his family, like they would come and tell us the truth. Y'all remember when Donald Trump had that doctor dude with the long hair, like like the wild professor? He's the healthiest man I've ever seen. Right out of Trump's mouth. He told the doctor what to say. Ain't no doctor saying they're seeing patients their whole life going to come to Trump, who is grossly, grotesquely overweight, and decide this man is the healthiest man he's ever had as a patient. But they said it. They got to say whatever he says. He must be a pretty nasty character for people to be so scared of him. Steve Gibson, I got to go check that out in a minute. But Steve Gibson, is he a young guy? I mean, are people checking on him? Is he being treated? I don't know. They said 80% of people are surviving this thing. They're sick for a week or two. Unfortunately, I guess you can't just go get a test to know. They want you to basically stay at home, right? Yeah, you're not going to get Trump, Andrea, to say the truth about anything. And if they are all dancing to his music, we're never going to get the truth about anything. Who knows what the real numbers are? But why would he just come out there and say something like that? I guess he's going to have a big party on Easter Sunday. Everybody just going to just throw caution to the wind. End up with a bunch of dead bodies. True. B. Buccaneer. B. Buccaneer says the reason why Trump rejected the World Health test on coronavirus is Jared is running a shadow coronavirus task force, a health insurance company co-founded by Kushner's younger brother. Is that real, T? Wouldn't surprise me. Look at who Trump is. You think he's going to come out of the White House without, watch this, when he gets out of office, whatever it is, he's going to spend the rest of his life in court fighting all the things he did while he was in office. He's always been a greedy person. And it looks like maybe not even a particularly rich person. He's going to try to find the ways for this thing to pay off. Trump is not taking on no 8 years of his life, or so he thinks it's going to be 8 years, for nothing. Oh, I don't want your salary. You can keep it. I'm too rich. I don't need your salary. He's going to be investigated for the rest of his life. Just like since he's been in office, one after another. Ooh, tests are $5,000 a piece. I don't know. It couldn't be that much though. $5,000 for the test. Aren't they swabbing in some places in your car? I guess getting the results, but If they're just putting it like that, I ain't paying nobody $5,000 for that. If they can tell just by swabbing your mouth, it shouldn't be that much. But I guess you still got to get the results. I don't think it's like DNA, though. He's on TV every single day. Pay attention, people. He's on TV every single day to come up there and say the same things, right? It's only because this is his campaign now. Stay in front of the people. Because, see, Joe Biden isn't getting this kind of publicity. He should take it. I think they were listening to Joe before they listened to Trump. He should take responsibility. If this is the way they're going to fight this race, has there ever been a presidency delayed or postponed? I know you smart people. I know you know Nicole, Miss Motown, Red. All three of y'all here. All bless those hearts. Redbone, Miss Motown, Nicole Reloaded. All three of my moderators right together. You guys know, has it ever been in history a time where they postponed an election? Or put it off for a year or put it off for a few months? I've never heard of it. Now, I'll be honest with you. I didn't start following politics till Obama ran. Of course, yeah, that's very believable. Jared needs that money to pay for that damn building he got. I wouldn't even want a building 666, the devil's calling card. What a coincidence. This man's in the seat of power over this country. He buys a building in New York, and the address is 666, the devil's calling card. I think there should be a way you can petition the city to change that address. We won't have that address in our whole city. There was one in LA like that too. Like, man, maybe that's in every community, but that just seems that huge monument who's almost destroyed that family because they overextended. The address is the devil's calling card. Couldn't they make it 667.5 or something? Do something with it. I know in a lot of buildings, those tall high rises, they don't have a 13th floor. So it's basically the same thing. 13th floor is bad luck. So they don't have no 13th floor. You go to 12th floor and then the 14th floor. Couldn't they have done something? That don't even sound right. Y'all remember The Omen? That's one of my favorite movies in history. Damien Thorne. His ambition was to become president, ruler. The devil. Just seeing the name, seeing the letters. Sometimes if my subscriber count or something like that, but get to that, whatever I say, your fire department is. I couldn't. There got to be a way to change it. Our hospitals don't have 13th floor. You have the number 13 tattooed on your leg. Well, I don't know if that is bad luck on a leg. It's just in a building. The 13th floor is bad luck. But I believe in Jesus. I'm not really with all the superstitions and all that kind of stuff. But I still think that letter still sends chills through me. Why they put it in there? Why they put it in the Bible? Mm-hmm. The Bible. Y'all like going to church on television? Is that what you're doing? I think our church had I missed it, but they have live broadcast they did a Facebook Live. So I don't know. I guess I'll check it out next week. Everything is being done live. Tomorrow, I facilitate this group. We're going to try to do it online. So all the group people will be right there talking to each other. So maybe this is an opportunity to catch up with technology. Trump, okay. Nicole Reloaded. I know you would know. Trump cannot cancel or postpone the November 3rd general election by an executive order. Hold on. Under the perimeters of a national emergency or disaster declaration, or even if he declared martial law. So he still couldn't do it. Could Congress do it? I wonder, because he's in the election, wouldn't be right for him to postpone it. Did they shut the wharf down? I ain't been down there. I'd imagine so. Tourists ain't doing this. If they have closed 30 hotels here and 31 more hotels are vying for homeless people for their hotel rooms to put somebody in them, I doubt that there's much tourist action down at the wharf. And native San Franciscans, I don't think very many of us do the wharf. It's more of a tourist attraction. Only time I go there is if I'm trying to show someone else the city. So that's kind of the way it is with, when I was in LA, nobody had no desire to go to no TV shows and all. It was all around you, But I assume the wharf is shut down, or just about everything in it. It's only about a lot of shops, right? I don't do no churches. Praise God. Well, fortunately, you don't need to. You don't need to go into a building to praise your God. X-Studi line. Could you break your name down, how to pronounce it? Is there a way to do that? Because I feel bad just not pronouncing your name right. I know I'm not saying it right. See, it looks just like Judy line, right? But it's X, so X Judy line. And tell us what country you're from. I get the suspicion that you're not from the United States. You don't have to. I'm just, it would help this old guy. A view. I go every other weekend in the summer to get clam chowder. Blind spot. Okay, you go down and get clam chowder. You got to know your way around down there too. Because when my family came here, I didn't know anything about the wharf and all that, right? So we walked into one restaurant and it was so expensive and they were paying for everything. So I said, no, I can't. It was like $60 a plate and all that. So we wandered down to another place where the food looked delicious, right? Where they come out, they be saying, try our food, and they have free samples all on the boardwalk and all that kind of stuff. We went down there. We couldn't even put that stuff in our stomach. It was so horrible. My sister said, yeah. So they were tourist traps. So you got to know what you're doing down there. So next time I do that, I would go and investigate before people come to visit. Andrea says, President has to be in office January 20th. A new Congress must be in by January 6th. Would have to change the Constitution on those dates. Okay. Also, states would have to coordinate an election date. Oh, okay. So it's complicated. I don't know what he's going to do about this thing. I don't know who the hell going to sit up there after he makes a fool out of himself daily now. We'll go in there and put that man in office with no economy at all and all the mistakes he's made concerning this virus. S. Hutchison. Hey, how you doing? I haven't seen you in a while. Love you too, honey. Hey, everyone. Let me see. Stephen J. Why S. Hutchison mentioned that name? What name she mentioned? Y'all getting this already. My name? Whose name she mentioned? We don't know. Okay. I take my depression pills. I'm still having a breakdown on what's going on. I'm sorry, Dottie. I take my depression pills. I'm still having a breakdown on what's going on. Baby, we're all going through it. Just remember, everybody in this country is going through the same thing. I tried antidepressant at one point. What's it called? Was it warfarin? No, it wasn't warfarin. I don't remember. I tried one for 3 months. It boosted my mood a little bit, but after a while, I just discovered that I didn't like the way it made my head feel. But yeah, you got to do what you got to do, honey. Take care of yourself. Take care. Ask your doctor if you need to updose a little bit while this thing is going on. I was typing Jay Wilson. Speaking of 666. Oh, we'll be messy for a minute. Okay, there's rumor has it, allegedly, that people are taking a collection first. They're going to Cash App Jay Wilson because they say that his lights, he's taking 4 light bulbs out of his chandelier. So he has a chandelier with only 2 light bulbs in it now. So they don't know if he didn't pay the light bill, or if he's trying to conserve light energy, or if he can't afford the bulbs. But Jay Wilson chandelier, watch it next time, right? Okay, that's my messy moment. It seems to me that if I were online virtually every day, and that was part of my life light source, I would not have my chandelier with only 2 lights in it. Allegedly. All right, you guys. Thanks for coming in. Always good talking to you. Stay safe. Stay in that house. You get bored, you go to Netflix. You can find something on there, I'm sure. But it's just, isn't it weird when you have so many choices, so much choices of stuff to watch on television? I just can't. I go watch a movie for 5 minutes, 6 minutes, turn it off. Nothing in it. It ain't hitting my mood right. Too many choices. Back in the day, we had 4 channels. It was easy. All right, people. Love you guys. Stay safe.